3 boats through to the grand finals. 3 boats with the shot at the medal. So that's what all these crews are here for. California is going to be in the lane closest to the launch here from our view. Washington in lane number 3 next to them. Northeastern in lane number 4. Harvard in 5. Dartmouth in 6. And on the outside, farthest away from the launch now, is Pennsylvania. Here we go. We got to start. See what California here in the lane closest to us can do. We're going to check some rates for you, see how these guys get off the line. Just screaming fast starts in the first 500 yesterday.
45 strokes a minute for Cal. That's pretty impressive.
45 with a ton of power coming from California. Washington sticking with them. Cal's got a couple of seats already. Northeastern, Harvard, and Washington are in that next little set of crews, with Pennsylvania doing a great job on the outside with an aggressive start from Coach Monty's crew there in lane 7. So on the screen here, looking down, we have California on the right-hand side, Washington in the white tanks next to them, Northeastern in all black, Harvard in the red there, their signature red. But let's take a look. We got our leaders here in lane number 2, California, sharp and strong. So doing a very nice job out in front here for the Bears. So Fred, we're going to head out. Hopefully you are up at that 500-meter mark to watch this crew from California come through that 500 meters.
The most exciting races of the regatta are in this semifinal to make the final. California leading by about a half a length over Washington and Harvard. Harvard having a good start is running a close second. And it goes over to Northeastern, Dartmouth, and Pennsylvania on the outside. So Harvard impressing me this morning here the most as they poke their bow into second and come up on the 3-man of the Cal varsity here. Very good start for Harvard. Washington third, about 2 seats back of Harvard. And then it goes back to Dartmouth and Northeastern, that 4-5 spot. Northeastern running even with Dartmouth, but almost a full length back of Washington. So 3 to go through. Harvard is making a real statement here in the first 1,000 meters that they want to run with the big boys, California and Washington, who are the fastest crews on the West Coast. California chugging away here. 37. And Washington at 37 as well. Harvard's still hot. Northeastern now is coming up a bit to challenge Washington. Northeastern's got their bow on the Washington 7th seat or near the 6th seat. So they're taking a big press to come up. Can they catch Harvard? That's the question. Can the Huskies from Boston catch their neighbors downstream, the Harvard boys? Harvard shot out of the gun in the first 1,000 meters. It's going to be tough for Northeastern to make up that distance. Well, we'll see in the third 500 here. California owning it now. Stroke man on bow of Washington. And the Huskies continue to march on Harvard. They're coming up, bow on 5 seat of Harvard. Let's see if they can wind it up. They had a very slow start and dropped about 6 or 7 seats to Harvard in that first 500. But the Huskies are on the move. That would be the Boston Huskies. That would be quite an achievement for the Huskies from Boston to break into this top 3 group. $35.5 for Cal. And Northeastern continuing to charge on Harvard is up to their 2 seat. Northeastern on the move. Very exciting effort here by the Huskies. Yes, they continue to march. Bow coming up to Bowman on Harvard. With 500 meters to go, it's going to be a knife fight between Harvard and Northeastern.
All right.
This is a great view of the real race going on. Northeastern already up at 39.5 strokes a minute. Really challenging Harvard for the final qualifying position to the A final. It's semifinal time, and boy, it is heating up out there on the course.
Yeah, that was a really strong push from Northeastern. That third 500, they, when you make that decision to go, you got to call it as the coxswain, have that confidence that your guys have the fitness. They've bumped up that rate. They're attacking Harvard. Harvard did kind of respond now, though, so we're seeing Harvard with a little bit more comfort against Northeastern here. California has not run away with it, kind of like we've seen in times past, but Cal is doing a nice job out in front. Just great power coming from the Bears here, following their stroke man, Ewan Hadfield there. So he's just really pressing, leaning on it together. But we have a good race going on. That Northeastern crew, did they give up too much in that first 500?
Northeastern just
undoubtedly. But Harvard has responded, and Northeastern is making another push. And here comes the final push. Does Harvard have that gear to get him over the line in the last 250?
Oh, and does Northeastern have that gear to power through here in the last 250? It's going to be a close one, but looks like Northeastern might just kind of run out of that room. But here they come. The Huskies in second place. The Huskies going for third. The Huskies from Northeastern. Do they have it to catch Harvard here? This is a spot to make it in. What a push from Northeastern. That final 500 meters from Northeastern was just fantastic. Great race by Northeastern there. So California coming across as your leader.